Welcome everyone, welcome to Trend Signal and the Dynamic Trader strategy. So let me give a quick explanation for those who haven't seen this before. I know many of you have, but I'm sure there's some who haven't. So Dynamic Trader, it's an intraday trading strategy. So we're going to be looking at 2-minute charts. We're going to look at one of our favorite markets, the DAX, and we're going to have a look at some trades from this morning. So let's have a quick look. So each one of these candles, again, if you're new, each one of these candles is a 2-minute candle. So it is a short-term time frame. It is an intraday trading package. We'll get lots of trades in the day. And the trade I'm going to show you now is one of the trades that we called this morning live in our workshop. So we've done a 2-hour workshop. We do 2-hour workshops every day, in fact, where we call manage and exit trades live in front of everyone for our members to copy. So let me run through basically our first, what we call standard trade we had this morning. So as you can see here, after last night's shock moves, or were they a shock? I'm not quite sure about that, but we moved down a little bit this morning. You can see from just before 8 o'clock, pulled down a couple of 100 points on the DAX. And what we're looking for then is that we're not looking to call tops or bottoms in these markets. Look, that is a dangerous game. It is just a gamble, and we're not into that gambling side of things. We're into taking higher probability entries. And when I say higher probability, these trades are most likely to have an opportunity to take profits out of. That's what we're looking for, higher probability opportunities. And the way we're going to do it is that we're not going to guess anything. We're going to follow a very strict set of rules that will get us into those high probability opportunities. So what happens? Well, first thing that's going to happen as we go through, you see the prices coming down here, and you see these little arrows at the top here. They're pointing downwards. So at that stage, it's saying, well, look, there could be possibilities for short trades in the direction of those arrows. And what happens is this: price moves up, and we hit the arrow. Now, when we hit this arrow, it sets off the sequence for us now to be able to look for the potential for a new trade when the new candle starts. So what happens when we hit this arrow is that it's going to flip the other way. It's going to be pointing upwards, and it will do this every time. It'll flip every time we hit it. And what happens, as you can see, let me just compress it down a little bit, it flips, and we're now in a mode where we can, let me just bring it along, where we can now look for trades, long trades in the direction of that arrow. So we're going to follow a very strict set of rules. And so what happens is this: arrow flips, we know it's already going to happen, and then we get our arrow and we're going to follow these rules. So the arrow will be number 1. The candle position, the vector average, these are these 2 green and red alternating lines here. So when they're green, we're looking at those trends being upwards. Vector average is a very special type of trend that we use. So they're green for up. So we've got our arrow pointing up. We've got our trends coming up. That's number 2. We then need the candle to be in the buy zone. So when this candle opened, this arrow would be outside this blue line here. And so what that means is that we need this candle then to be above this black line here. It opens above. So that's point number 3. Gets into the right place. We have something called what we call the R ratio. Keeps us out of a lot of junk, really. It's a really good filter, and that's positive. Needs to be positive, and because this is what we call one of our more explosive types of trades, we're not too worried about the longer term trend on this. So that is our entry there, and I'll just drag this purple line down so we can just see it there. I'll just mark it as a horizontal line there, 22,020, a lot of 2s in there, and that is our entry. And we just simply press buy, and we're off. We put our stop in there, and off we go. Now we don't place a target on these trades. We're gonna let them run, and we're gonna lock in profits as they move. When you first start, it is a good idea just to put a target in there just when you're first starting. And then after that, you'll get used to what I'm going to show you next. So we get our entry. Our stop is marked on the chart for us. That's this arrow down here. It's already marked on there. And then what happens is, as the trade progresses, what we can do, we could just follow the arrows up on our stop and it will reduce gradually. Or what we can do is be a little bit more aggressive with it. We can drag our stop up and then start reducing our risk. So as the trade pushes upwards, we can, at a good place to move these stops at the bottom of the candles as they progress. So we can move this stop up to this level. Now we've really minimized our risk. There's hardly any risk left in this trade. As it moves further on, we'll do the same thing. We'll move our stop up again to the bottom of that next candle once it's finished. And now what's happened is that we're now locked in profits. Remember, our entry was by here. So now the worst thing that could happen is that it comes back and we still make a profit. So at this point now, we've locked in about 17 points. As it moves further up, we can do the same thing. We can start locking in more points. So now, at this point now, we would have locked in around about 35 points. And again, as it moves up, we can do the same thing. Lock in more points. Now, how much you lock in, it just depends really on how aggressive you want to be or how much room you want to give it. So at that point, you'd have locked in around about 55 points. And we're not giving it too much room there, not too much room to breathe. So a pullback and we're out of the trade. We want to give it a little bit more room. Maybe we'll just keep it down at this point, giving it more room to breathe. Look, it doesn't matter what you do, because at the end of the day, at this time, we can now, we can't lose. It's just a case of how much we're going to make on this trade. So yeah, whether you want to be really aggressive or give it a little bit more room, either way is fine. So let's just say I'm being, let's say a little bit more, less aggressive, keep my stop there, and then trade pulls back, hits the stop, and then we're out of the trade. So we'd be out of this trade then for about 36 points. So a nice set of profits. Yes, if you wanted to come out a bit higher, absolutely no problem at all. And you'd have been able to take more points. But for that particular trade, yeah, a nice setup with at least 35, 36 pips on the trade by following those candles up. And I'll just show you a little screenshot. So these are some of those points that were taken out of this morning's session. It's 17, a 47, a 43, 20, 30s, 2.7%. I've just had to, for obvious reasons, blank out the names there. But yeah, you can see there. Some of the other markets, if you like to trade, the Dow is one of our favourites. The NASDAQ is one of our favourites as well. Lots of people like to trade gold. In fact, what I'll do, because there was a great gold trade just before I started doing this recording. Let's have a quick look, because I know lots of you like to trade gold, and lots of our members love gold as well. So here we go. Look, this is a short trade. So everything now is going to be in reverse to what we just looked at. So price is coming down. It tries to pull back. I'm just going to open it up a little bit more. Here we go. Tries to pull back. Doesn't really go anywhere. Has a little bit of a move up. A little bit of movement there. But look what happens then. Here we go. Here we are. Look, we hit the arrow. What do we know? Well, it's going to flip. It's going to be pointing downwards. We're going to be able to look for short trades. So we'll have those exact same rules, but now it's in reverse. Arrows pointing down. We want our vector averages to be red, because we're going to be looking to go short in the direction of that arrow. So we get our red vector averages. We get our candle position. We don't use an R ratio on gold. There's plenty of movement in gold, so we don't need to worry about that. And also, because this arrow is outside this blue band here, we can trade with or against the long-term trend. A bit like that long DAX that we looked at. So we get our entry at this point here, which is, there we go. Just get my cursor on it there, which is $3,091. And then it's exactly the same process. And I'll just draw a little line in here. Go to drawing. I'll just draw a line in, just so we can follow it down. So here was where our entry was there, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. As the trade moves down, we can start locking in those points as it goes down, lock in those points. And this is still live. This is a live chart. So if we locking in those points as it comes down, let's say we've locked in, whoops, I get my cursor there, that point, then as you can see, it's bounced back, and this is literally as we're speaking. This is a live chart. You can see it moving. It would then have risen back up, hit our stop, and then we'd be automatically taken out of the trade for a profit. And in this particular case, then that would have dropped down around about $20. About $20. So a lovely set of profits. You know, and I know there's questions, but what if I wanted to come out lower? Look, if you wanted to come out lower, because look, it's been all the way down here. It's been, at its best, it's been close to $30 in profit. Absolutely, yes, of course you can. But it's nice just to follow down, locking in those profits, because, hey, at the end of the day, it could have got another $50, couldn't it? So, yes, hopefully that's a good explanation. And on a different market as well. Gold, which I know lots of you are familiar with, and also I like to trade. Thank you.
Want to learn how to find profitable trades like this? Register for our free trading webinar and discover the strategies that turn you into a confident trader. Prefer a more hands-on approach? Schedule a one-to-one walkthrough with a senior trader. See our software in action and get those questions answered, and take control of your trading journey.